And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a small game called Minuscule. This is basically a bug race. So we're at the ugly bug race. A bunch of bugs, from snails to inchworms to flies to ladybugs. They're all going to be racing, and you have a certain bugs that you are betting on. I don't know if you're like an adult who's sitting here going, I'm going to bet on those bugs. But anyway, you're trying to bet on which bugs you think are going to win the race. Actually, you kind of have secret bugs you want to win the race. Let's take a look. You're going to put on the board a track of 1 to 7 cards. I have it kind of curved here, but essentially it doesn't matter how you have it. You start with 1 and start with 7. Each player is going to get 2 cards here. These cards are going to show the different bugs that are in the race, and then players are going to take turns placing the bugs on the different cards so that there's 1 bug per card. Players are going to be getting a handful of these cards, and then the game starts. The game is essentially going to take place as each player plays a card from their hand, resolves that card, and then goes to the next player. Now, most of the cards are going to tell you to move a bug. So here, for example, it says move the bug on the pistachio nut. And this one says plus or minus 1. So I can take the ladybug and I can move it plus 1 or minus 1. When I do so, I will displace the bug that's already there. Sometimes it will show 2 nuts. So here I can move the one on the acorn and the pistachio nut. So let's say I want to move him back and then the acorn forward. So here's one that says move this nut, the one on the green nut, forward 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then these guys all move back to fill in the spots. And so sometimes they're plus only, sometimes they're plus or minus 1, sometimes they're minus only, sometimes they're a specific bug. So this one here moves the grasshopper. So there's specific bugs. And there's also, here for example, whoever's on the cherry spot goes to last place, and all the other bugs move up 1. And here, players can take one of their cards that they have, discard it, and draw another one, hopefully for a bug that's going to do better in the race. Once everyone has played all their cards, players will then flip over the cards, reveal who they have, and will add up the points for them. So here I have the snail and the fly. The snail is on the 5, and the fly is on the 6, which are the green nut and the walnut. So I have 3 and 2, so I have a total of 5 points. Probably not going to win this round. You can also play with the ant variant. When you do that, you will take the bug who's in last place and give them a black base just to differentiate them. And then each player at the beginning of the game has a chance to take a token or pass. If they take the ant token, they put it in front of them. If this bug at the end of the race is in the top 3 positions, then each player who took one of these tokens is going to get a bonus 5 points. However, if it is not, they're going to lose 3 points. So it's kind of a risky thing. The number of tokens here is determined by number of players. So there's 3 tokens in a 5 or 6 player game, but in a 2-player game, there would only be 1. Now this game is a very cool little game, and I like it. It's a fun game. I really like the artwork, the bugs. It's clean. It's easy to see. Each bug looks distinctly different. Each spot on the path has a different nut. The cards are really easy. This is a game I was easily able to explain. It's good for families, kids, adults. It's pretty solid. Couple things though. First of all, this game is almost a straight copy of a game that's been out for over a decade called Formula Motor Racing from GMT Games by Dr. Rainer Knizia. Now this is different in a lot of aspects to it. This is a more simplified version in Formula Motor Racing, but it's essentially the same thing. In Formula Motor Racing, you had a bunch of little cars, and you would play cards, move them up and forth. And again, this is fine. I'm just surprised that Formula Motor Racing is not mentioned at all, not as a thank you. It is possible that it was simultaneous design, or they designed this without ever playing Formula Motor Racing, since that game is essentially out of print. So that's possible. It just seems odd. Also, there is another racing game that's very similar to this one, the Tails game from Yellow. I don't have it behind me, but the Hare and the Tortoise version from theirs is very similar to this one, and I think it's a better game because each of the Hare and the Tortoise and and all the different creatures in that one move at a different rate. And I think I like that one better than this one. However, I still enjoy this game. The idea of having two different bugs and trying to maneuver them, it's very simple. You have a hand of cards. Which ones will you play first? You want to make your own bugs go to the front, but you don't want to be too obvious about it, because then other people will, if they have a choice between moving someone's bugs forward or back, they're going to say, well, you've been moving the ladybug forward, I'm going to move it back. Oh, good, that's what I wanted, because I never had the ladybug anyway. Ha, 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 ha. There's obviously some randomness in it, especially the more players you play. It might not matter what kind of maneuvering you do. Sometimes your bugs end up at the end. However, I think the game itself is so easy and fun to get into. It's a really solid little family game. The theme is fun. These are cute bugs. They're not gross bugs or anything. And you're kind of like, yeah, go snail, go. And there's a, and it plays in 15 minutes or less. So the whole package is really good. This is the kind of game that I would give to a family as a gift. I'd be like, hey, here, try this out. This is an excellent little game. I think you should play it. And it would be easy to teach in like 5 minutes. And there's not this depth of huge strategy into it, but at the same time lets you make some meaningful decisions. Should I move the ladybug forward or backwards? I don't control the ladybug. I don't care. And neither the bugs before or after matter to me, but I might move it backwards one, because later on I'll be able to move this one to this spot, which will displace a bug I really need to be displaced, and move mine up farther. So it offers a little bit of forward thinking for kids. I think this is best in that family genre. So that is Minuscule. Not as small as you might think. In fact, the bugs are kind of big. If I saw a fly that big, I don't know if I'd be very happy about it. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. Minuscule. Dice Tower Judgment approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.